Attention, the invisible bomb, inside. Simple words about visceral fat and what to do about it. Hello. I want to calmly and humanely talk about something that is often misunderstood and underestimated. What is visceral fat, and why is it insidious? Visceral fat is fat that is not under the skin, but inside the abdomen, around the intestines, around the internal organs, in the omentum, sometimes even between the cells of the liver and pancreas. It is not always visible in the mirror. A person may look normal, or even slim, but inside there is excess fat. Important, this fat is not useless. It protects organs and performs functions in the body. But when there is too much of it, it starts to work against us. It becomes a source of inflammation and destroys health from within. Norms? The normal amount of visceral fat in men is approximately 10 to 15%, and in women 8 to 13%. These figures refer to the relative proportion. The total percentage of fat in men is usually 8 to 18%, and in women 18 to 30%. These are average guidelines, so there is no need to panic. In addition to visceral fat, the body also has subcutaneous fat. Located directly under the skin, it stores heat and also performs hormonal functions. Brown fat, there is not much of it, it is activated and burns energy, it acts as a reserve. Why is it dangerous? In simple terms, when there is a lot of visceral fat, this fat begins to oxidize and attract immune cells, macrophages. These cells communicate with fat cells and release signaling substances, called cytokines, for example, tumor necrosis factor, interleukins. These substances cause chronic inflammation. What happens next? Inflammation reduces the sensitivity of cells to insulin. At the same time, the level of insulin in the blood rises. High insulin increases appetite. You want to eat more often and more. We eat, we store even more fat. Fat causes even more inflammation, and the cycle repeats. This chronic inflammatory process is associated with many diseases: type 2 diabetes, hypertension, heart and vascular diseases, joint problems, infertility, and according to some studies, dementia and even some types of cancer. Therefore, reducing excess visceral fat is very important for health and longevity. How can you tell if you have it? The most accessible methods are those that can be done at home. Waist circumference/height, waist to height ratio. Measure your waist circumference in the morning on an empty stomach, after using the toilet but before eating. Measure at the level of the navel without inhaling or pulling the tape into the skin. Divide your waist circumference in cm by your height. In cm the norm is approximately 0.48 to 0.52, according to the data provided. If the figure is higher, there is reason to seriously consider this. Waist circumference/hip circumference, waist to hip. For women, less than 0.85 is considered normal. For men, less than 0.90. Body mass index, BMI, is not always accurate. In muscular athletes, BMI can be high with a low percentage of fat. Therefore, treat BMI with caution. The most accurate methods are CT, computed tomography, and MRI. But these are expensive and rarely necessary for everyone. First, use a tape measure in calculations. What to do? General principles. There are two main rules without which nothing will work. Negative energy balance. Consume fewer calories than you expend. This is the most important thing. Physical activity. This is what helps burn visceral fat. Without it, the results will be weaker. Next, practical rules for nutrition and exercise that will help remove visceral fat. Specific rules for nutrition and lifestyle. 1. Diet. I recommend 3 meals a day: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Approximate times: 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., 6 p.m., plus or minus an hour depending on circumstances. This helps you live according to your circadian rhythms, and your body processes food better. If you really want a snack, it is better to have it before lunch. After 3 p.m., avoid simple fast carbohydrates. 2. Limit simple carbohydrates. Minimize sweet rolls, pastries, sugar, and sweet drinks. They provide empty calories and increase your appetite. Once a week, allow yourself a small treat before lunch if it is psychologically difficult to resist. 3. Eat more fiber. Vegetables, greens, whole grains, legumes, nuts, fruits, berries, and mushrooms are sources of fiber. The goal is to aim for about 30 g of fiber per day and quite a lot of vegetables per day. The text mentioned up to 700 g of vegetables per day, especially green and cruciferous vegetables such as broccoli, cabbage, etc. If you currently eat few vegetables, increase the amount gradually. 4. Healthy fats. We need fats. They make us feel full and serve as the framework for cells. Good choices include vegetable oils, clarified butter, eggs, and cottage cheese, especially in the morning. Fats help us feel full longer. 5. Enough protein. Protein is essential. It preserves muscle mass and helps you feel full. Include both animal and plant sources. On your plate, about half should be vegetables, 1/4 should be protein, 1/4 should be complex carbohydrates, and a small portion should be fats, olive oil in a salad, etc. Keep a food diary. Write down what you eat at least for a week. We often don't notice how many empty calories we've accumulated during the day. There are simple apps, use them. Physical activity is key. Walking, at least 5 days a week for 45 to 60 minutes. You can divide it into short walks of 10 to 15 minutes. The main thing is the total time. Running or more intense aerobics, if you feel comfortable. Strength training 2 to 3 times a week. It preserves and builds muscle mass, which is important especially with age. 4 home workouts, kettlebells, 8, 16, 32 kilograms depending on your ability, or simple bodyweight exercises are sufficient. Common mistakes and how to avoid them. You eat little but don't exercise, then visceral fat disappears more slowly. You exercise a lot but eat even more. Sometimes after a workout your appetite gets so ravenous that you compensate and eat more than you burned. Control your portions and the quality of your food. You need to find a balance, not extreme diets or uncontrolled workouts but stable habits. Moderation plus exercise. A 30-day step-by-step plan, what to do each day, realistic and humanly possible. I've broken it down into 4 weeks so it's not overwhelming. Take it step by step, don't try to change everything in one day. Week 1, preparation and start. Day 1, measure your waist and hips, write down your height and weight. Calculate the ratios, waist/height, waist/hips. Take a photo of your stomach for yourself. Day 2, remove the simplest carbohydrates from your home. Candy, pastries, sweet sodas. You don't have to throw them away, just don't keep them on hand. Days 3 to 7, switch to 3 meals a day, around 8 a.m., 1 p.m., and 6 p.m. Eat slowly, not in front of the TV. Walk for 30 to 40 minutes a day. Start a food diary by hand or in an app. The goal of the first week is to get used to the eating regimen and daily walk. Week 2, improve the quality of your diet. Increase your vegetable intake. Half of your plate should be vegetables/greens. Reduce simple carbohydrates, especially after 3 p.m. Add protein to every meal, fish, chicken, cottage cheese, legumes. Start 1 to 2 light strength training sessions at home, 15 to 20 minutes. Squats, wall push-ups, kettlebell/dumbbell swings. The goal for the second week, a stable diet, more fiber and protein, and your first strength training sessions. Week 3, increase your activity. Walk for 45 to 60 minutes 5 to 6 days a week. You can break it up into 3 times 15-20 minutes. 2 strength training sessions per week, 30 to 40 minutes each, basic exercises for large muscle groups. Watch your calories. Try to eat slightly less than you expend. Don't starve yourself, just reduce your portions and empty calories. If you want, add 1 day of more intense activity, running, brisk walking intervals. The goal for the third week is to reinforce the habit of exercising and start changing your body composition. Less fat, more muscle. Week 4, consolidation and self-assessment. Continue as in week 3. Check your results. Measure your waist again and compare with the photo from day 1. Think about which habits come easier to you and which are more difficult. Plan how to stay on track. Goal for week 4. See your progress, get ready for the long haul, and don't expect quick miracle results. Example of an ideal day, for reference. 7:30, light exercise/10, 15-minute walk. 8 o'clock, breakfast, eggs/cottage cheese plus vegetables plus a small portion of whole grains, or a piece of toast, plus a spoonful of thick butter/clarified butter. 11 a.m., 10 to 15-minute walk if possible. 1 p.m., lunch, large plate of vegetable salad plus serving of protein, fish/chicken/beans, plus small serving of complex carbohydrates, buckwheat, quinoa. 4 p.m., light walk/exercise. 6 p.m., dinner, vegetables plus protein plus a little healthy fat, olive oil. Throughout the day, water, tea without sugar. No sweets after 3 p.m. A few practical tips to make it easier. If it's difficult to go without sweets, save 1 small portion for lunch on your day off. Don't go to extremes. Reduce the amount of fast carbohydrates gradually. If you have chronic illnesses or are taking medication, consult your doctor before making any serious changes. Small victories are important. Losing 1 to 2 centimeters around your waist is already great. Final word and motivation. Visceral fat is insidious, but it can be worked with. The main thing is not to wait for a miracle pill, but to combine 2 simple rules: moderate high-quality food, a slight negative energy balance, and exercise that you will actually do. Start with small steps, and in 30 days you will have the momentum and motivation to keep going.